Ergonomics is the science of designing the workplace and work organization to fit the worker or the employee rather than having the worker's body be fitted into the job at hand.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics have identified over 615,000 lost workday injuries every year due to musculoskeletal disorders. These are the soft tissue injuries, the upper extremity injuries, and especially the lower back injuries. They can be very debilitating. They're very serious, they're very costly, but most important, they're preventable. And an ergonomic program does not need to cost a lot of money. I mean, a lot of it is common sense. So we need to make sure that we do implement preventive programs designed through ergonomic techniques.
When I look at key success factors for an ergonomics program, I believe one of the first things you have to have is the support of top management. Top management doesn't have to do a lot. They just have to be there to support it, encourage it, and let the people know they believe in it as well. The group that really has to be there to make it work is the group that's running the plant, that's designing the product. It's all those people. So it's the people on the assembly line floor or the machine floor. It's the mechanical engineers in the manufacturing operations. It's the design engineers. It's all of the people that really put that product, that plant, that whole system together. To get the benefits of good ergonomics, the employees have to be involved in it. And when they're involved in it, things really happen and you see motivated, excited employees.
The union negotiated the ergonomic committee in the master contract in 1990. And the reason we took it to the table was that our members were getting hurt on the job. And there was no violence, no accidents. But over a period of time, they were working and winding up hurt, losing a lot of time and money. And once you get carpal tunnel and some of your other CTDs, there's no cure. So your life is changed or ruined forever. So we wanted to prevent that.
About 4 or 5 years ago, I started becoming aware of the employees' complaints as to wrist problems, shoulder problems, back problems. And since we didn't have a procedure in place for ergonomics at the time, I started to keep my own logs of what the employee was doing, the type of work they were doing, and the type of complaints. The safety committee decided to look into the problem and found that there were consultant firms out there that would come in and train them so that they could properly look at the jobs and know how to evaluate and how to rectify the problems.
At Melrose Park, we focus on a series of goals. We also follow a number of measures of safety and of productivity. Ergonomics is one of the areas we track, as well as the overall health and safety. What we saw in 1996, for example, is we had no repetitive trauma OSHA reportable incidences. That's a substantial improvement over past years, but it's only come through an aggressive program coordinated through our committee. We've been able to reduce our workers' compensation costs so that they're only 1/5 of the state average. At the same time, the lost time case rate and the incidence and frequency rate is much lower than national average. This shows that we can reduce our cost and also protect the health and productivity of the workforce.
Some of the first things you're going to do is you're going to look at their OSHA 200 logs or their injuries and illness records and to try to determine which ones of those are actually ergonomically related. Then you're going to talk to management officials to find out what kind of programs they have. And then you want to get out into the plant, do some videotaping, look at the tools that they're using, and talk to the employees and ask them, you know, do you report these things to the company officials, such as the tingling in your fingers, the numbness in your hands, your arms, those types of things. And find out if they've been trained regarding ergonomics. Do they have a medical department? What kind of medical facilities do they have?
When an employee feels pain or discomfort in the workplace, they are encouraged to report this to their supervisor. And supervisors have been given ergonomic training to assist them in responding to these employees. The ergonomics program allows the supervisor to adjust the workstation, correct work methods, and if the employee's problems are not resolved with those measures, then they are referred to the nurse for evaluation and treatment.
Do you feel anything there? Okay, that's good. Okay. I want you to go ahead, if you would please, and squeeze this for me. Just squeeze it as hard as you can. Okay, that's good.
The changes that may have occurred in the workplace are probably going to be less than you are imagining.
The old chair was just a straight chair, you know, and it didn't move unless you got up and turned it, so that made it, you know, more difficult. And then you couldn't adjust the back, you couldn't adjust, you know, the height and stuff, and some of them you could, but it took 2 or 3 people. So with the new chairs, like I said, it's a whole lot better. You know, you can just mash a little thing and it goes up and down, and that's a whole lot better. We also have bundle scrubs. You don't have to pick up the whole bundle. You just, you know, you're able to pick up one garment at a time. And that way you don't have to, have to pick up the whole thing, you know, at one time. And that makes it a whole lot easier in handling. And you can also just push the truck up from one, operation to the next. Another thing we have is folding tables that you can adjust them up and down because, we're all not the same height. So with, when you're folding, you can be able to let the table up for taller people and down, low for shorter people.
In the last 6 years, we've experienced over a 50% decrease in the number of illnesses that we had reported before then. We are averaging about a little over 2 illnesses for every 200,000 hours worked. Kind of give you an idea as far as the frequency is concerned. Dollars, we started parallel to rates. We noticed as our rates went down, as far as illness is concerned, our dollars did also. Plus, our people are happier. In doing surveys within the plants myself, I find that they tell me that they are less tired now than they were years ago when they first came to work. It's just smart business to go ahead and get involved with the Ergo program, because sooner or later you'll have problems.
In the beginning, most of the people that we'd come in contact with in our small town, when it had to do with a government agency or any kind of an inspection, everything we had heard was that these were people to avoid and you didn't want to have anything to do with them. And one time we did have a surprise inspection, and in that process where, there were a few things that they pointed out that were wrong, and there was really a lot more to be gained by asking their opinion and saying, what should we do here? How should we construct this finish room so that it'll reduce our premiums or be safer in the case of asking OSHA? We think that we actually benefited, and because of this, we kind of made this shift from them being the enemy to them being a resource that actually would help us.
David Carroll, our safety director, he has got books from OSHA and different places, and he shares them with the safety team. and then we carry this on back to our teams. We have had an improvement in ergonomics. It helps lifting on the panel processing. We used to lift just one single panel at a time with plywood. Now we use forklift where we pick it up and we have a lift that works it up onto the table. We don't have to squat and pick up as much. All the people in the plant, all the workers I've talked to have really appreciated the ergonomic innovations, and it's helped them work-wise and health-wise.